Hi everyone, this is Andy Mangum. I'm the regional minister of the Christian Church in the Southwest. It is the coolest job in the denomination, and this is my 2 cents worth. This is my official Disciples of Christ tip jar, and that is my 2 cents worth. It's October, it's Minister Appreciation Month, and so I would like to talk to you a little bit about how you might show appreciation to the ministers in your life. The first thing I would suggest to you is awareness. Be aware of the different ministers in your life. Certainly, if you go to a local congregation, you know your pastor, you know the associate ministers and others who have that title minister officially in their name. But think about more than just that. There are so many people who do ministry in the life of a local church. Church secretaries do as much pastoral care as anybody I know. We have custodians and we have nursery directors and music directors and youth directors. They may not have the title reverend in front of their name, but they are doing ministry. So be aware of them. Think about your hospital. We have hospital chaplains. Many of the hospital chaplains are disciple, but all of them serve the whole population of the hospital, the people who work there, the people who are there, the families that are being treated there. Our hospital chaplains do incredible work, and they deserve our appreciation. Military chaplains often serve in incredibly rugged conditions, and they serve in the midst of really difficult transitions in people's lives as they face significant trauma. So make a list of the people who fall in that heading of minister. And then continue your list a little bit. Think about family members. Think about spouses and children, certainly, but think about siblings and parents. I can tell you from personal experience that my brothers and my brother-in-law, my mother and my mother-in-law, my father and father-in-law when they were still alive, all of them impact my ministry in ways that I could never express openly, and that people that I served didn't necessarily see, but actually sustained me throughout the course of my ministry and continue to sustain me today. So as you make your list, you're thinking about all of the different people who are part of this network of ministry around you. Now, take that list and make it a prayer list. That would be my second suggestion of part of Minister Appreciation Month. Pray for the ministers in your life. Pray that they have strength and that they have wisdom. I pray frequently with one word, endurance, that people can continue to do what they are called to do without burning out and without losing hope. Pray that God would give them seasons of rest and regular times of true Sabbath. Pray that God would send them colleagues who will listen to them and support them and the resources that they need to do ministry. Praying for your ministers is the most important thing you can do this month and any month for Minister Appreciation Month. And you may say, well, Andy, if I just pray for them, how are they going to know? I promise you, if you pray for the ministers in your life consistently for 2 weeks, they will know. They may not have heard that you're praying for them, but they will know that you are praying for them. But you may want to go ahead and do something tangible for those ministers. Give them some sort of gift or provide some expression to them. There's a book that's written, I forget who the author is. It's very popular, and so I don't really need to give it that much attribution. Called The Love Languages of Marriage. And it's also been expanded into the love languages at work and with children and apologies. It's a cottage industry. But the premise is really brilliant, and that says that each of us experiences love in different ways. For some of us, love is communicated through words of affirmation. For others, it's gifts, tangible gifts. For other people, it's times, quality time spent together. But there's different ways that we experience love, and your minister is no different. Ministers hear and experience love differently. So think about what their love language might be. It might be that it matters to them to get a card from you with an expression of what it is that you appreciate about their ministry. They may want it to hear you see you look them in the eye and give them a word of affirmation directly. It's a wonderful way to express appreciation this month. Maybe a really good suggestion would be to take your minister out to eat, and or take a minister in your life, maybe they're a chaplain or other kind of ministry. Take them out to eat, or bring lunch into their ministry. And especially if you've got a large staff there, maybe feed the staff at that congregation, or take cookies to the chaplain's office. Whatever it might be, those tangible gifts of food are great. You may want to actually buy them something that they can remember you with. And I would encourage you to do that if you can think about something that they might really like, something that's born out of your relationship with them. Be careful about going into the bookstore and just grabbing the first thing that says Minister Appreciation. Really think about them. A couple of things I would point out to you. I made reference to Norman Rockwell's triple self-portrait years ago in a sermon. I used it as an organizing structure and a main illustration for that sermon. And after that was done, a person brought me this figurine of the Norman Rockwell three self-portrait, triple self-portrait. Really something that I treasure. A colleague, friend of mine that I worked with had a stole a rack in her office, and I would frequently admire it as I was standing in her office. And so finally one day she said, "Would you like one?" And I said yes. And so she had the person who made hers make one for me. And even better, he came in and installed it himself, which meant it stayed up for the rest of the time that I was at that congregation and didn't fall off the wall. If I had to install it, it would have fallen off within a day. But those are some things that really were meaningful to me because they were reflective of what was valuable to me. If your minister doesn't wear stoles, a stole rack isn't going to do them much good. So think about what matters to them and about what you've seen reflected in them. The last thing I would want to suggest to you is that you make a contribution in their name. There are different ways to do that. One of the places I would suggest that you go to is their alma mater, or a school that matters to them here in the Southwest region. We have Jarvis Christian College, we have Texas Christian University, and we have Brite Divinity School, 3 disciples-related institutions. Maybe they didn't go to any of those, and that's fine. If you wanted to give to my alma mater, I'd say go Buffs, and I'd be thankful that you did. But whatever matters to them is what you might want to think about contributing to. Some disciples ministries I would lift up. One is the pension fund. If you go to their website and go to give, they have about 4 different ways that you can contribute to people who have been in ministry. The 13th check helps those who may not have had the time to prepare for their retirement like they needed to, and that's a way to help out for them, or other kinds of emergency relief that pension fund distributes. Pension fund, thanks be to God for what they do, and they're an incredible place for you to give. As well, Week of Compassion. There's probably a few places you can give that will have the kind of impact that Week of Compassion has. We know this firsthand in the Southwest region. When there's a church fire, Week of Compassion is there providing assistance, not just short-term assistance, though they are on the ground very quickly, but also long-term assistance. We saw them at work in the Gulf Coast as we have recovered through multiple storms in our Gulf Coast region. They have been personal and they have been expansive in their work. Week of Compassion is a great way to give, and if you gave in honor of your minister, I think they would appreciate it. Reconciliation Ministry is another special offering that we take within the Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. It's a ministry that seeks to bridge some gaps that we have culturally and racially and ethnically in the church and also in the culture at large. And that's to be a wonderful place and a wonderful way to contribute to the ministers in honor of them. But finally, I would suggest that you can give to the Christian Church in the Southwest, P.O. Box 1689, Fort Worth, Texas, 76101. If you give in honor of your minister, we will find a way to say to your minister, thank you for the ministry you've done and for the impact that you had, that somebody was willing to give in your favor. Well, that, my friends, is my 2 cents worth. I don't know when I'll have my next one. I had one in the summer. We'll consider this the fall edition. Maybe I'll see you again in the wintertime for my next 2 cents worth. Until then, God bless you, God keep you, God's face shine upon you, and God sustain our ministers. Amen.